The Islanders take a 1-0 series lead as the Penguins drop game 1 in overtime 4-3. I don't even know how to begin with this. Let me just say I forgot how stressful playoff hockey is, especially playoff overtime. So puck finally drops for game 1 of the playoffs. Everyone's hyped. The New York Islanders arena is rocking. I've never heard it that loud in my life. So playoff hockey's finally here. I'm hyped. We're all hyped. You know, we have a chance for another cup run. And what happened? It just looked like the Penguins forgot how to play hockey in the first 30 seconds. They were getting schooled by the Islanders' fourth line. And I know the Islanders are known for having a good fourth line, but I don't care who your fourth line is. If it's your fourth line, it should not be schooling your first line, especially when your first line has Sidney Crosby on it. But, you know, it's just a bad start. Everyone has the Penguins always have bad start. What's that? Former Penguin Tom Kuhnhackl coming in looking like Mario Lemieux, snipes the top shelf. I'm like, how? Just like that, it's 1-0 Islanders after a terrible start. But wait. The Penguins challenged it for offside, and I saw it as soon as they showed the replay before Mike Sullivan even challenged it. I'm like, wait, that's offside. It has to be offside. And I know Mike Sullivan's going to challenge it. And then Mike Sullivan finally does, because that was an obvious offside. And they took way too long on it. I mean, I know it's the playoffs. You want to get the call right. But come on. It's not hard. You just look at it once, twice, and you see it's offside. Call it. Let's get the game going. Finally, they call it no goal. So I'm like, let's go. You know, Penguins got away with a big one here. And then what happens, like, 30 seconds later, Jordan Eberle makes it 1-0 Islanders. The Penguins looked absolutely lost. I don't know if they were overwhelmed by the crowd being too loud or the Islanders' relentless forechecking. But, I mean, they've won 2 cups. They've been through loud crowds. They've been through relentless forechecking. So I don't know what was going on here. You know, the Penguins just look lost. I don't get what they were doing. The first 6 or 7 minutes, turnover after turnover, you know, making dumb mistakes that shouldn't be made in the playoffs, let alone an NHL game. But then the Penguins finally weathered the storm like we all knew they would. You know, we know this is a good team we have here. They didn't just forget how to play hockey in a snap of a finger. A few minutes after that Islanders goal, Dominic Simon comes in, gives it to Phil Kessel, snaps it, his first goal of the playoffs. Playoff Phil has risen, and it's a tie game, 1-1. And then later on in the first, the Islanders get a power play. And of course, the Islanders have a terrible power play. Penguins have a great penalty kill, but as soon as the announcer has to mention it, everything goes wrong. Islanders 2-1 on the power play. And again, that goal wasn't Murray's fault. I didn't really see anybody blaming Murray, but I'm sure there's someone out there that's blaming Murray. That was not Murray's fault at all. And even the first goal wasn't Murray's fault at all. I mean, for the first goal, you would want him to have the stick in the way to block the 5-hole on Jordan Eberle. You should also have someone on Jordan Eberle, not all by himself in front of the net like that. And for the second goal, Chris Letang didn't cover the passing lane, and Brian Dumoulin didn't get Brock Nelson's stick. And just like that, it's a 2-1 game. Not much Murray could have done there. On to the second period. The Penguins came out kind of slow, but not as bad as the first period. I mean, they were just okay. I wouldn't say they were bad, but they weren't great. But then midway through the second, the Penguins get a power play. Evgeny Malkin with an effortless wrist shot and goes all the way top corner. I'm like, how did this happen? It was such an effortless shot. But then they show in the replay, ended up going off an Islanders defenseman's stick, deflecting it top corner. Fortunate bounce for the Penguins, but obviously they're going to take it. Tie game 2-2. And then from the Malkin goal to the end of the second period, those last 7 minutes or so, the Penguins were dominating. Their best hockey I've seen them play of the game at the end of that second period. And it sucked that they couldn't get that goal. I thought if they got a goal, the game would have been way different, but they just couldn't beat Robin Lehner. Jared McCann with a great play to Malkin, all in front, gets 2 chances, can't beat Lehner. Phil Kessel with a whole open net, and he hits the post. Midway through the third, Goodbranson tangles up with one of the Islanders player, I forget who it was, and they go hard on the boards. And Goodbranson was hurt. They showed the replay, and the way Goodbranson just went colliding into the boards, the way his foot kind of twisted, it reminded me of Justin Schultz in the beginning of the season. So I'm like, we're getting Goodbranson out here. He's going to be gone for the rest of the season. And 5 minutes later, I see this man coming out skating like nothing happened. This man really checking on his ankle like he didn't just twist it on the boards. What a warrior. I just gained so much respect for Goodbranson after that. Still a 2-2 tie game. This is something that's been a problem for the Penguins now, was those stupid turnovers. They played great. They had them a bunch in the beginning of the game, but they got better as the game went on. But that one sequence with like 6 minutes left in the third, Oli Mata, what are you doing first of all? He does this play where he's going backwards with it. When you have the puck in danger, you flip it, get it out of there. As long as you don't get it over the glass for a penalty, just ice it if you have to. There's nothing wrong with icing it. Sometimes I wish players didn't have that mindset of if we ice the puck, we're in trouble. But if you're ever in danger, especially in a playoff game, don't be afraid to ice that puck down and go for the face-off, reset everything. And that's exactly what Oli Mata did wrong. And he didn't even have to ice the puck. Just chip it off the boards and out. Instead, he does that play where he turns it back, loses the puck. The Islanders have a chance to the point. The puck is wobbling, slap shot, goes past Murray. Great screen, and the puck was wobbling. I don't think Murray could have really saved that. He didn't really have much of a chance. And like I said, Murray was screened, and the puck was wobbling, and those are so hard to save. You know, you can ask Craig Anderson.
Crosby on Kunitz, shot. Penguins win it!
Sorry, Senators fans, if you're watching. Didn't mean to do that. Just slipped up right there real quick. We just needed a little smile. I needed to throw that in there to give Penguins fans something to smile about, because that game 1 loss, let's get to it. So once the Islanders got that 3-2 lead, I thought it was over. It was one of those games where I thought the Penguins are done here. They're not coming back. But with about over a minute left, Chris Letang with a wobbly puck, a bunch of wobbly pucks tonight. Players were falling. I think the ice was terrible. Nassau Coliseum. I don't think hockey's really meant to play there. The arena was like old, and the reason why they ditched it is for that exact reason. But I mean, it didn't really only hurt the Penguins. It helped the Penguins with that huge game-tying goal by Justin Schultz. And as Penguins fans, we've gotten nervous before. We've had our moments. If anything, this is nothing. Round 1, game 1. But no, I don't know. I guess my body could not handle that because I forgot how scary and just nervous you get in that, 15 minutes while you wait for overtime to start. I don't remember it being that bad. My stomach was, I thought I had to throw up. I thought I was getting sick. That's how bad it was. And the longer the intermission went on, the worse it got. And now one intermission heading to overtime, for some reason, feels like all the other intermissions combined into one. It takes so long. Then you have all the thoughts looming in your head. Oh my God, what if they score on their first shot? What if we score on our first shot? Who's going to score? Would it be Crosby, Letang, maybe Mata? You start thinking of all the crazy possibilities. And it's not like in overtime it gets better. It gets even worse. Every time the Islanders touch the puck, I was losing it because anything can happen. And every time the Penguins touch the puck, you're ready to celebrate because you never know. Anything can go in. And then out of nowhere, Tom Kuhnhackl, looking like Mario Lemieux again, dangling Olli Mata, crashes into Murray, and it looked like it went in. At first, I'm like, there's no way they count that. The net went off, and it was goalie interference. As they were reviewing it, obviously, they showed the replay like 20 times, and each time they showed it, I'm like, how do you let Tom Kuhnhackl dangle you? That's all I thought each time they showed it. And you can't let that happen. Forget Tom Kuhnhackl, whoever that player is. Unless it's Connor McDavid or Jesus, you can't be letting that happen in overtime. Olli Mata just looked like a rookie today. He looked like he was playing in his first NHL game, mistake after mistake. I don't think I saw much positive from him. And you guys know me, Olli Mata's my guy. I always come here and defend him. And I'm not about to come on here and be biased to the players that I like, just like some other fans do. No matter how much I like a player, I'm going to call it how it is. If you play bad, I'm going to call it out. And it goes the other way too. If there's a player that I'm not feeling as much as another one, and he makes a good play, I'm not going to lie and be biased because I don't like him. I'm going to call it out. I call it how it is. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm just throwing that out there because there's players I like more than others, but if they do something stupid, I'm going to call it out. But just Olli Mata's game was brutal today. Brutal. And you guys know I'm not the trade Mata guy. I still don't think we need to trade him, but just today's game, unacceptable. But we're not even done the game, so they ended up calling it no goal. Obviously, I think we all knew it was going to be no goal. I mean, if they called that a goal, goalie interference, net was off. I mean, you can't call that a goal. But then a few minutes later, our best defenseman, so it's not just Olli Mata here, all he had to do was skate up in the offensive zone and just chip it in behind the net, whatever it is, and go for a change and just a normal shift. But sometimes, Letang tries to do it by himself, which sometimes he could, but sometimes there's a time and place for that. And in overtime, there's never a time and place for that. You make the smart play all the time. Dump it out and you go for a change. That's what Letang should have done. Instead, goes 1-on-2, loses it, creates an odd man rush. Barzal makes a great play on Dumoulin, and that's your mistake. You never go down on Barzal. He'll outweight you all the time. And I know it's really tough as a defenseman. You want to cover the passing lane, so then that's why Barzal's so good. He waits for you to go down to make that play, and he went to his backhand. I thought Murray saved it. It hit the post. I'm like, oh my God. And then Bailey with the rebound, it's in. And from there, I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? And I don't know about you guys, but every time there's an overtime goal in the playoffs and your team loses, I don't react as if it's a loss right away. I wait, I look at the ref, I'm like, okay, there's got to be goalie interference. There's got to be an offside somewhere here. And you wait for maybe a miracle like that. And I was waiting a good 10, 15 seconds because the announcer said something about, oh, maybe this might be offside. Maybe Mike Sullivan wants to look at it. I mean, why wouldn't you? You have nothing to lose. Literally, just might as well throw it out there. But then they showed the replay. It wasn't offside. You could argue that it was goalie interference, but you're not going to call that because Chris Letang shoved Barzal into Matt Murray. He wasn't in the crease. That's not goalie interference. I know a lot of heated fans. I was heated. That's why I waited 30 minutes to make this video, because at first I was going to come here and say that was goalie interference, but then you realize, you look at the play, that was not goalie interference. Well, I mean, technically it was interference, but you guys know what I mean. Letang pushed Barzal into Murray. He wasn't in the crease. There was nothing Barzal could have done. Just like that, the Islanders take game one. So overall, they were more bad than they were good, and they pushed this to overtime. So a big thing you got to do is cut the stupid turnovers, the 2-on-1s, the odd man rushes, the passing the puck up the middle, all that, cut it out. The Olli Mata late goal there, up the boards, ice the puck if you have to. Just make the simple play. That's number one. Number two, our first line was really quiet tonight. Can you imagine as soon as Gensel and Crosby get going? And we already have Malkin and Kessel, who in my opinion played great tonight, especially Phil Kessel. I mean, the complaints we had about Phil Kessel in the entire season were gone tonight. Tonight, he looked like that player that we all love. He was putting his all in every shift. He put up 2 points, but forget points. The way he was skating, the way he was playing, I thought he was one of our best players tonight. Malkin had that same drive. He looked determined. He never had that moment where he just took a shift off, or at least as far as I can remember, he was always giving his 100%. So what do we do going to game 2? I suggest you put McCann on the top line because the top line wasn't getting much done tonight. So you need something to change. And then you got to stop the stupid turnovers. And I know it's easier said than done, but some turnovers were really avoidable. And I know Mike Sullivan's going to yell at them for that because coaches hate those dumb turnovers. You know, get the puck off the boards and out. Never go up the middle, you know. It's simple stuff that you learn when you first start playing hockey. You know, come out for game 2 strong, play your best hockey. I don't want to say it's a must win because it's not, but you don't want to go down 2-0. Even though you're heading back to Pittsburgh, it still forces you to win 2 in a row because if not, then you're risking going down 3-1. Then you just shoot yourself in the foot. So just take one of the 2 on the road and you take it from there, go back on home ice for game 3 and 4, and you just take it from there. And finally, Murray played pretty solid too. I don't think none of the goals were his fault. All bad defensive plays. And maybe the third goal, but like I said, he was screened and it was a knuckler going his way, so that's always tough to stop. And like I said, if there's a game that's on him, I'm not going to be afraid to say it. I just don't think this game was on him, not even a little bit. He made some solid saves when he needed to make them. He gave the Penguins the chance to win. They just came this close. They lost it in overtime off of, you know, stupid turnovers. That could be fixed for game 2. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to throw in your comments. What do you think the Penguins could have done for a better outcome? I guess I'll see you guys after game 2. Thank you guys so much for watching.